We only control the dollars. Their board controls operations. So the only way we get their attention is if we say, hey, we're going to mess with your dollars. Well, guess what? On Saturday, we had that discussion, and guess what? They're going to come to the table, and we're going to look at new, more modern options that serve more citizens of this community.
Could big changes be on the horizon for the Sioux City Library? That's the big question tonight. That if a proposed $2 million budget cut over 2 years goes through, that could soon be a reality.
Yeah, let's get you caught up on both sides of this issue. It all came to a head this past Saturday morning during the city's annual budget review meeting. This is video of that meeting on Saturday. Now, last fall, the previous Sioux City City Council asked the Sioux City Public Library Board of Directors 3 different times to show the council what the library would look like with only half of its $4 million yearly budget. The library's board of directors did not comply. Now, technically, they did not have to. The library's board said they wanted to wait for a new director to assume the role, as current board director Helen Rigdon is retiring at the end of April.
And during that review, the city council was no longer asking the library for a drafted model, but telling the Sioux City Library Board must draft a memo of what a $300,000 budget cut and what a $1 million budget cut would look like.
My understanding was that the proposal was to send it back to the boards for our time. Then you guys come up with a plan, and the plan didn't come to fruition. So that
the board said to wait for a new director.
So
they knew I was retired.
The only option then that the council has is to force action is budgeting.
This budget cut could mean some of Sioux City's libraries will close permanently. KTV's Kaylee Dom spoke to the library's director to get their side of the story.
We just think that they're not giving the public the full information of why they're doing this. We don't know why they're doing this.
Sioux City City Council says they want to modernize Sioux City's libraries.
Library services are evolving over time.
But with the library's long list of services, not just books that include a computer lab, e-books, hotspots, and free Wi-Fi, library board members are confused over the term.
I don't know what they think we're not modern about. I don't know if he thinks we're still using card catalogs and checkout stamps, or, you know, I'm baffled by it.
The council pitched the idea of, quote, lessening the library's downtown footprint, adding that the building is too big. But the library says this budget cut would do the exact opposite.
If you look at the million, we'd have to consolidate into one building. We'd have to close both Morningside and Perry Creek because we would not have the staff to keep them open.
But council members say this was the conversation they wanted to have 8 months ago.
Library services in 2026 need to be revisited, both with regard to the location, the services provided, the function.
If the proposal goes through, aside from closing down the Morningside and Prairie Creek libraries, the library says they will have to say goodbye to their current hours, some of their staff, and their hotspot program.
We try to keep their services, for the most part, as much as possible, but there's still going to be some cuts, unfortunately.
The library now advocating for themselves, saying,
we are the only city department that gives back almost dollar per dollar our budget in services.
The board of directors with the library and the Sioux City City Council will meet on Thursday to discuss further, but it is important to note nothing is set in stone at this time. In Sioux City, Kaylee Dobbs, KTIV News 4.
The library has a deadline of Monday to get a memo to the city's finance manager so the board can then vote on whether or not to approve it. We'll keep you up.